GPOddCast on 88.7 CFUR, also on the interwebs, YouTube, maybe other places that is not the YouTubes or the radio. I'm not too sure. Oh, anyway, this is Garrett Perry. I'm the host. I am here with Nolan Allen.
Hey.
Devin Kavanaugh.
Hey, hey.
We make films together, documentary films. We called it the GP Does PG.
And now podcasts.
We are breaking the final frontier. Your living room audio in your earbuds. Airbuds, particularly, not just regular earbuds anymore. They're just wireless.
Tiny little dogs in your ear. Like Airbud, the movie?
Oh, anybody? I was thinking that movie, There's Something About Mary with Ben Stiller.
Oh,
Gets something in his hair. That's what I see when I see the earbuds sticking out of people's ears. We got a few things we're going to want to talk about. We're going to just get right into it. The Smashing Pumpkins. Siamese. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on the
Dreams?
last. Siamese Dreams.
Yeah.
I just listened to this album for the first time all the way through earlier today, and I kind of fell asleep. I biffed it.
It's not that boring. Come on.
It was not. I was surprised how many songs I recognized just from pop culture.
Like today?
No, just listening to the album and be like, hey, I recognize this song. It happens all the time. And I can't think of any specific memories.
It's funny how like a song can kind of throw you back to a moment though, right? Yeah. Like there's songs I listen to and like it'll be like System of a Down, BYOB. I'll be like, oh man, that's like theater back in high school, us warming up to like, why they always send the ball, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or oh man, it's great. I love music and you can share it. It's a shareable experience, right?
Do you have any specific memories with this album, Nolan?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite albums from when I was like 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
When did this album come out, roughly?
1993.
1993.
Yeah.
Wow. And how old were you when that came out then?
I think I was around 8 or something like that. I don't know.
Okay, so it was out for a few years by the time you got your hands
9.
on it.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, I would have been like 3 when this came out, so
yeah.
Definitely not the kind of music a 3-year-old would like.
But that's the thing. The music is timeless. Like, you could go back to it. It's almost like a time stamp. You could get transported to when they recorded it. Some pieces of music is more timeless. I feel like this is definitively 90s music.
Yeah. Very 90s. I kind of miss it. Just a time before autotune, time before over sequencing. Yeah. A couple of the big songs that people would probably recognize is probably track 3 of the album, Today.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Disarm as well.
Yeah, Disarm, Rocket, and Space Boy. Those are all the ones that were making their rounds on the radio and on Much Music.
That's awesome. It's cool when albums have more than one hit single.
Yeah.
Tom Petty was a big trailblazer for that, having multiple hit singles from one album and defining an era. And definitely Smashing Pumpkins. I don't remember it, but they stand the test of time, at least. I don't know if they go out touring these days. Do they release new music?
They are.
Yeah, Smashing Pumpkins had an album just released earlier this year, and they are on tour. The band broke up a few years ago, and they finally just got back together all the way, like this year or last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's old now, right?
Yeah, I think he's like 50, 55 or something like that.
Whoa. Can you imagine? Like,
It's not too bad. I mean, he got famous when he was like in his mid-30s.
yeah, but you're 55 and you're singing like punk rock to, well, probably old 55-year-olds too or something.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. The people who were fans grew up too, so.
plus a couple younger people too. I don't know, like a lot of people in high school when I was growing up, like they loved the Smashing Pumpkins, even though they were kind of like, you know, the yesterday's music, right? At that point.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still good, man. The music, like you said, it's timeless. And this album too, like there's the 4 radio hits that were on it, but if you sit and you listen to it start to finish, it's like they're all good. It's an experience, right? And there's that other song, it's like 10 minutes long. I don't want to say the name because it's kind of vulgar, but it's 10 minutes long and it's a journey. It's crazy.
Yeah. The guy that produced this album, Butch Vig, that this is one of the albums that put him on the map. That along with Nevermind by Nirvana short after.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
And one of the big sounds of this album is just a Fender Stratocaster and Electro Harmonix Big Muff fuzz pedal.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded great. And you know, the vocalist has a unique sound to his voice too, and that's something I always appreciate, is just standing out and being different, not sounding like everybody else. And at that point being pleasing audibly too. You could sound really bad and not sound like anybody else, but then is anybody going to want to listen to you?
Some other tracks that I really liked was Sure Brock, right off the top.
Oh, yeah.
Just starting out with
Side 1, track 1.
yeah, the snare. The snare runs at the top.
Nice.
Yeah. Soma is one of my favorite songs.
It's a bit of a slower one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise, and the one you were talking about, it's called Silver Funk. Is that what?
There we go. Yeah, Silver Funk.
With a K or something? Or
Yeah,
C?
yeah. That's it, man. Yeah. It's safe for radio. But yeah, like it's so aggressive up front, and then all of a sudden it kind of like it just takes a step back, and it's calm, peaceful. It's just him, like it's like poetry almost, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, when you actually read the lyrics, they're all pretty deep.
Yeah.
Spends a lot of time on writing stuff with meaning.
Yeah,
That's
like
important.
It's his soul, man. Like when you listen to that music, it's his heart right there, right?
And like shout out to the producer being able to capture that too. Let's move on to our movie segment of our show. Devin, you picked out the film for this 88.7 CFUR exclusive.
Exclusive podcast on the radio. Yeah. I chose The Thing by John Carpenter.
1980s.
Yes, you got it, man. Came out the same year as E.T. And as a result, got completely destroyed at the box office.
Right, everybody talks about E.T. Everybody saw E.T.
I only saw E.T. like a year ago.
Oh,
Personally,
wow.
I would have double featured it.
Oh, it would have been so good, hey?
Let's see at 7, then go to The Thing at 9.
Very contrasting. Here's a really feel-good alien movie, and then here's a, oh my God, aliens are terrifying movie. Especially back then, too. Like, whoo, the effects are amazing for when it was made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all practical, reverse whip kind of shots for the tentacles and stuff, and then animatronics.
Yeah, that's really put John Carpenter on the map as a director too, as a kind of like a specific B movie kind of director, isn't it?
That's I have to argue it's a movie horror for sure.
Movie horror.
Yeah.
But no, okay. What movies
A
did he make?
reputation for practical effects, I would say.
Oh, okay.
And
That's good.
storytelling. Like he's a very good story like weaver, right? If you look at like Big Trouble in Little China, that one's it's lighter, but it's cohesive and its story makes sense in its world, right? but it's so out there. You know, there's these weird like elemental kind of ninjas that like
it's kind
kidnap
of hard
women
to
and
pinpoint it, but you'd say an artist.
yeah.
As
And
a
he
filmmaker.
did the music for that too. He did like the Big Trouble Little China. I think the Coupe de Villes was their like band name.
Yeah, I really love the music in the thing. Very moody kind of thing.
Yeah.
Atmospheric.
All composed by John Carpenter.
Iconic.
He wrote the script, he wrote the music, composed the music, directed. Like, it's an amazing piece of work. You know, it's kind of interesting too. Like on the commentary, they talk about the experience and like the experience of making the movie, and like the cast all male, right? They didn't have any female actors, and then the crew. They talk about in there how they had a few like female crew members. 2 of them got sick and couldn't join the production, and then 1 was pregnant and left after about a week. So after she left, it was just a bunch of dudes making a sick horror film out there, and man, what a blast. Just drinking and
real party.
yeah. In the middle of nowhere, like surrounded by winter.
You gotta party it out or else you go crazy.
Yeah. But you know, it's a little bit older. Like we said, it's released in the 80s, but you know, you gotta like sit down and get your like suspension of disbelief ready and just like watch the whole thing, get immersed. You know, that's what it's made for. Like the synth like really pulls you in, and that's the first thing you're going to hear when you get into it. It's a helicopter shot through like the Alaskan kind of wilderness, you know, snow everywhere, and then just boom 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 boom. Like that's the synth right there, you know?
Yeah.
Like so cool, man. So
Yeah, once you get into it, the plot's a very slow burn.
yeah.
Very mysterious. Like really keeps you guessing on what's going on or who's causing it.
Yeah. It's like a really well made whodunit. And even at the end, like it's kind of ambiguous. You don't really know like I don't want to spoil it for Garrett here, but you don't really know if they're safe after, you know?
Yeah.
Setting up a sequel, maybe?
Boom, boom. Boom, boom.
Or a bad remake, maybe. But
Oh, yeah.
Kurt Russell starred in this movie, right?
He did. Yep.
I love Kurt Russell. That's enough reason for me to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, kind of talking about Johnny C's other movies. He worked very closely with Kurt Russell. Like Big Trouble Little China.
Oh.
He did Escape from L.A., Escape from New York.
I love it when like these directors and actors kind of get iconic with their work together. It's great.
Yeah.
It's like a play troupe almost. They just like keep on doing movies together.
Yeah.
The same actors with different stories.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like Tim Burton and
That
you
chick.
know,
The chick.
his wife.
Oh, yeah. And then Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, that's who
Yeah.
I was thinking of. Yeah, Helena Bonham Carter is who you're thinking of.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. And, what's the other one there?
Val
the Resident
Kilmer.
Evil. Val Kilmer. Resident Evil. Like Mila Jovovich.
yeah.
And, Paul.
She's always in all of them, and I liked her in The Fifth Sense. Yeah.
The Fifth Sense?
With Bruce Willis.
Oh, The Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah,
It's like I smell people.
I smell alive, sneaky people.
The Fifth Element.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Very different movie. Oh, man, that's a masterpiece. It was kind of disappointing to see that guy's the Valerian Planet of 1,000 Worlds or whatever.
Oh,
That, like, he went like 10 years without making like another like cool sci-fi movie, and then he made that, and it was just kind of
That was like the biggest budget movie at the time.
Yeah, it was.
Crazy.
I love The Fifth Element because it's just Die Hard in space. They could have called it Die Hard in Space. I'd still love it.
Oh, man. That's actually pretty accurate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Never
If you love
thought of
Die
it like
Hard, you
that.
love space, go watch The Fifth Element.
So good.
It's even in the vents. Man, it's got everything. It's totally Die Hard.
Yeah.
Mila Jovovich.
going back to The Thing, the iconic way that he did the monsters really inspired other mediums, like Dead Space was the way they did their monsters was inspired by the look of
like
The
they
Thing.
directly took inspiration from the movie, to build the.
Well, like the idea with their monsters is that like the Thing, right? It's traveled to all these different worlds, right? And it's consumed all these different people and creatures. So when it transforms like that, it may not be its true form. It's like an amalgamation of all these past sort of hosts, right? So, yeah, sorry, Garrett, I guess you probably don't know the context here because you haven't seen it, but like,
I know about the monster and what he kind of looks like and stuff, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
yeah, like it's a mixture of many things. So like maybe it was on a planet where there was like a giant like spider race and it became one of them. And then when it comes to Earth, it sort of fuses the human shape with the spider beast, and that's what we see in the movie, right? So and it's just out to protect itself, like it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just trying to live.
And Kurt Russell's trying to kill it.
That's right. He's the bad guy. He's the antagonist.
Yeah, I see how this movie is.
Yeah.
People have been watching it wrong the whole time.
Oh man, you just unwrapped it. The code. It's been cracked. But yeah, honestly, favorite movie of all time. 10 out of 10. It's perfect. And yeah, it's definitely inspired me to be a creator.
I'd give it a 9. Really high.
How
really
dare you.
high. But it is really good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's worse. The worst thing about it is it's a bit slow, the pacing, but it's part of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Part of the plot.
Yeah.
Part of the mystery.
Yep.
I give this movie the Kurt Russell Award, even though I haven't seen it.
Man, so you know how John Carpenter, he made They Live as well with the wrestler guy, Roddy.
Oh, the documentary?
Yeah, the documentary, They Live. Man, can you imagine if that actually had Kurt Russell instead? How cool that would be.
Or just have Kurt Russell in general, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like the big bad at the end, the heavy at the end.
Kurt Russell is
Pulling
one of
the
those
strings.
people that could just play any role, I think.
Yeah,
Him and Danny DeVito, you could put him in any role and it'd just be perfect.
absolutely.
Yeah, that reminds me of he inspired so many ideas in video games, like the remake in DMC.
Devil May Cry?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
The remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the words everywhere.
Oh.
Like obey and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Consume, breed, money is your god, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Wow. Yeah. He's pretty influential.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, like, he almost made a couple video games or was brought on to like kind of being an advisor for some horror games.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it really went anywhere. I know Clive Barker was the same. They did that with him too. But I really wish that took off because, yeah, John Carpenter, he just like eats pizza and plays NBA games now. That's his thing. He's just
Living the
lazy.
dream.
He's
NBA.
retired.
I'm gonna hook up NBA Jam on my Super Nintendo. Be Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Shoot some hoops.
All right, what we got next?
We are listening to 88.7 CFUR as we are broadcasting there. We're brought to you by Low Q Gaming as well. Thank you.
You're welcome. Check us out on YouTube.
And that brings us to our next segment where we talk about a video game. I managed to pick this video game. It is my favorite of all time. It's Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I don't know if it's my all-time favorite, but the only other contenders up there is other Grand Theft Auto related in series. So San Andreas. When was the last time you guys played this game?
2007. Was it even out then?
5 years ago, maybe.
I couldn't tell you. I have the disc somewhere. Go look at it. But yeah, that'd be like right around the time that it first came out.
Yeah,
You
it was
must have
back in
just been,
high school, for sure.
Yeah, I have lots of memories playing that game in high school. That and Vice City.
Yeah. The whole, like, stealing a tank and, shooting, like driving forward and then shooting behind you where you were going and getting
building
like jet propulsion.
The speed, yes.
Yeah.
And the cheats add so much to the video game. It's almost like a completely other video game once you start getting those cheat codes and flying cars and stuff.
Yeah.
Messing around with I don't know, it just added so much more gameplay for me personally. The story was grand in scale. It felt like the game just went on and on forever. Like, took me forever to beat it. And even as a kid, like, I knew that the voice of Tenpenny, that was Samuel L. Jackson. It's like super. And his other friend Pulaski, he was in Reservoir Dogs. He was Nice Guy Eddie. Nice Guy Eddie, who gets shot at the end of Reservoir Dogs by nobody.
Whoa, spoiler, bud.
But yeah, it was like an all-star cast, and I wasn't even familiar with all the cast members besides those two people, but
for a video game, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That was
and
pretty
even
unheard
like
of back
Vice
then.
City had a lot of, I think Vice City had even bigger names.
Mhm. Yeah. The thing I like about like Rockstar and the games they put out are all the little like Easter eggs.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. There's always like a few like really kind of scary ones too. Like the ghost on the ledge, Sasquatch in the forest, or
That ghost was scary. Jeez.
yeah, it was. And wasn't there like a scream that was associated with it too? Like it would kind of happen.
I don't remember Scream.
Yeah, I think it might be Vice City, but in one of them you can find like the hotel room and there's like a chainsaw in there. And it's supposed to be like a
That's definitely
reference.
Vice City.
Yeah, Vice City.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
reference to Scarface.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That whole movie, or that whole game, was a reference to Scarface.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I thought San Andreas was a way better homage to the 90s than Vice was to the 80s. Like, had a bunch of everything to do with Death Row Records, semi influenced by Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
An epic 90s soundtrack on all fronts.
Oh man, that soundtrack was amazing.
So good.
I still listen to the classic rock station. I haven't branched out to the rap stations and the reggae stations, but geez.
So you mentioned there's like a lot of familiar things from other GTA games. A lot of what some of the unique stuff is the eating and getting fat. And working out.
I'm playing through the game right now, and I made CJ super fat, and now I'm super excited to be dating Michelle because she likes the fat characters. I'm like, yes.
Weren't you saying it like limits your like jump height?
Yeah, I was having a hard time collecting the gun on top of Sweet's house because I couldn't jump on top. I was like, too fat.
You got to get the gun, and then you got to indulge in some fast food. That's the trick.
Yeah, the problem was the every time I died, I'd lose my weapons. So yeah, it was worth it. The hamburgers were worth it. I found
the cyber beef.
The cyber beef. You eat 11. You could eat 11 of the biggest meals. You eat the 12th one, you throw up. So I would just eat 11 every time, and it would be like 2 trips to the burger shot, and I would be fat.
That famous meme where it's like, I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 11.
Yeah, exactly. The stereotypical fat characters smoke. I put them to shame.
Yeah, I think the semi RPG elements kind of separated from the rest of the pack.
Yeah.
And there's like an
Fragmented.
evolution of between Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, how it just like the mechanics of the game controller, even like controlling the camera, got so much better every time.
Sorry, going back to like the skills there, was there like a shooting skill and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's like a skill for everything. There's like stamina. If you don't run enough, your stamina won't be as good.
I assume if you're like overweight, then your stamina is just like it's gonna get it's gonna be in the trash. It's gonna be in the gutter.
Yeah, I maxed out the stamina too before I maxed out the fat. So, so my guy, he's super muscly too. So he's got it all. He's fat. He's muscly. He's got stamina. But the sex appeal bar is super low. I don't understand. And I got him pimped out wearing this. I was really inspired by these memes about like when your character runs into regular characters and then you customize it. So I was looking for like the silliest clothes.
Nice.
So he's wearing this like purple tracksuit and he's wearing this plaid hat right now. Oh, I'm just having a good time.
That's awesome. That's the best thing about those games. Like they're just silly fun.
Yeah, and the greatest part is when you're not even playing the missions, when you're just going on rampages, like going, or even I like to do is just get in a car and go for a spin. I want for a drive and not do anything. Listen to the radio sometimes.
Do you ever like follow the rules and like stop at red lights?
I've tried that. I get so bored. I'm like, geez. And now that I'm driving in real life, it's like, geez, I'd rather go.
What are your thoughts on the violence and like the controversies with that over the years in GTA?
I think it is a good thing for my development, getting all these angry thoughts out. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, wow.
I played this game as a kid. I don't think it really affected me too negatively. I guess the biggest issue with San Andreas was the hidden content, the hot coffee debacle.
Yeah, but you have to go out of your way to do that, though.
Yeah, you got to get like a Game Shark and stuff. So I believe I have a copy of it, but like it's just so much work, and I'm not even into playing those games.
The hot coffee.
Your character, it's just like a mini game where you have sex with your girlfriend.
It's a missing part of the game. It's not supposed to be accessible, but they bring it back by hacking it.
Yeah, exactly. They got cold feet when the development stage, so they cut it out. But they didn't delete it.
I guess it was probably one of the first like games with like a sex scene, but
yeah, and the thing was it never got rated. And then the ratings company felt they got duped, but it wasn't really supposed to be game content, right? Hackers got it back. Thanks for listening, man. This has been the GPOddCast, 88.7 CFUR. I'm Garrett Perry.
I'm Devin Kavanaugh.
Nolan Allen.
Sweet dreams are made of these.
Who am I to disagree?